Man, it's cold in Georgia this morning. Whew. To do today. Morning, Ben Reels. Morning to you, Bob. Alicia Shirley, good morning. Yes, bug. It is early. Good morning, Evil. Juju, good morning. Where's Juju from? He says, Juju says, every time I scroll down, somebody scrolls back. I can't get to you, Juju. Let's see. Juju is from, hold on a minute, dog. Good morning from Twisted Breed, MC Ohio. And good morning to Odysseus, Taylor, Houston. Oh, you're going to do the Snow Bear, you said 2019 or 2018? It's 2018. If you're going on the Snow Bear Disciples, are you going to wait till next year? Like the whole next year? But we'd love to see you on the run, man, the Snow Bear Disciples run. And you'll get a Snow Bear Disciples patch. And that'll be really cool. Matter of fact, I'm going to figure out a way that I can give anybody a Snow Bear Disciples patch that proves their ride. I got to set up the criteria. Good morning, Wolves of Liberty over there in Spain. Nicholas in Malaysia. Okay, New Zealand. Joel Chamberlain. Low and Slow Pitmasters. In Lawton. Pitmasters. Sounds like y'all think y'all can cook. Stupid question. Can I join a motorcycle club without a motorcycle? Oh my goodness, who said that? Paul Slacker. Or is that Stacker? Good morning from the VFW riders. VFW. White Tanks chapter in Phoenix, Arizona. Well, thank you, brothers, for your service. Good morning to New Jersey. Long Donkey. Morning to you, sir. Jason Rogers, I'm great, thank you. How are you? So, dear Black Dragon, what are your feelings on joining a motorcycle club without a motorcycle? So, I know a lot of you guys, and I could see Dibber right now. His answer would be real short. No, not only no, but hell no. Something to that effect. And I will tell you that it's an interesting question. It's an interesting question because it happens a lot. And a lot of people think that they think what a stupid question, but it happens in some of the people's motorcycle clubs that would call this a stupid question. So let's see, Missouri checking in at 31 degrees. Damp nasty and a damn nice morning for fireside coffee. Hell, I'm old, and I'm old too, Guthman. This should be a short video. No. So you gotta ask yourself, so the way a traditional motorcycle club works is you have to have a motorcycle to even prospect to be in a motorcycle club. And in the Black Sabbath bylaws, which is my club, you know, it states it very clearly. In order to prospect, you must have a motorcycle of this many cc's, a motorcycle license, a job, things like that. So, in order to even be a prospect for most traditional motorcycle clubs, you have to have a motorcycle. Isn't that the whole point of a club? Morning, Zach's Muscles. So why is it then, if you have to have a motorcycle to join a traditional motorcycle club, are there so many motorcycle clubs that let people join without having motorcycles? And this is kind of interesting because I was talking about this one time, And on my feed, a 1%er told me, or I think maybe he even told me this in person, but he said, hell, if you meet the requirements for the Brotherhood, I'll build you a damn motorcycle. And I thought to myself, ever since that 1%er told me that, he said, we will build you a motorcycle. And I thought to myself, how interesting. What's the real message there? Is the message that you're on your own? Or is the message that we stand behind you and everything you need? Not because someone just said they're trying to build numbers. We can have that discussion. But are they trying to build numbers, or are they trying to build a brotherhood? That's the question. Get, little doggy. We walking up this hill, man. You won't be looking at me crazy. I'm with you today. So, the question is, what are they trying to accomplish? Ooh, ice out here everywhere. That's the point. RA, RJ, MC, RC. Come on, people, really? Quality over quantity. My old grandfather. So, we will call a spade. Sure, there are many motorcycle clubs. Stop pulling me. There are many motorcycle clubs that are trying to build numbers. And I'm getting into a little shape. We pulled that hill just now. We just pulled that hill. So, yeah, there are many motorcycle clubs who are trying to build numbers. We won't get beyond that. But what do you think about what that guy said? If you're worthy of our brotherhood, we'll build you a damn bike. It means that in his motorcycle club, perhaps they're standing by you from day one. From the second you get in, we are going to ensure that we are backing you all the way. It's not necessarily the bike that we're concerned with, more than the fact that you're riding the bike. We'll provide it for you. We'll make sure we give you a way to pay for it. We'll make sure that we'll make sure you know how to ride it. We'll make sure that in this brotherhood, we're going to back you every step of the way. Yesterday we talked about the MC stands for Motorcycle Club, not Car Club. But you can't, if you're taking in people without bikes and that sort of thing, you could never complain when you have people that don't ride. I just had a guy said, no bike, no club, simple as that. And yeah, that's how we handle things a lot of the times in the MC. But I'm not saying that it shouldn't be that way. I just always thought that that was an incredibly interesting argument. It's funny, I've had people buy motorcycles and come join the club without any idea of how to ride them. I remember one brother I knew His name was Shaka Zulu. And he bought this this Hayabusa 1300. And I remember begging him, please don't buy that bike, man. Please don't buy that bike. You've only been riding a year. When I started riding motorcycles, a 400 was the biggest motorcycle they had. Somebody said, awesome for what you said, for what he said, you stand behind your brothers. But in RMC and Mini, I've known only a cage for emergency equipment only on long hauls. Oh, I don't argue that. It's the way it is. I just thought it was a compelling argument. So I begged my brother. I said, please don't buy that motorcycle. And when I had a motorcycle, when I first started riding, the fastest motorcycle they made in the world was like a 400, a Honda 400 or something like that. When we dropped motorcycles, I mean, the fastest you could go would be 60, 70 miles an hour. We didn't have motorcycles that did 200 miles an hour off the showroom floor. It's interesting to me when I see people go buy that crap. Like you're begging to die. You're 19 and you buy a Ninja 1400. Are you serious? But these guys are very serious. It's an interesting idea to me that maybe if a guy has the wherewithal and the money to buy a motorcycle, you begin training him on how to ride a motorcycle and getting him to the point that he's now prepared to go buy a motorcycle with the proper training. I don't know. It's just something I was thinking. And so in that way, you ensure his ability to ride, especially a new rider, from the second you meet him. You could teach him, you could train him, and then on his way. Now, of course, he wouldn't be able to join the club. In my club, he wouldn't even be able to prospect. But the club is wrapping their arms around him. They're tentacles. They're tentacles of love and protection before he ever even gets started. I don't know, I thought that was interesting. If you are worthy for the brotherhood, we will build you a motorcycle. I just thought that was amazing. And it was a different thought process for me because, as I said, it was a different thought process because everything I've ever been taught, everything I've ever heard, everything we've ever practiced. No! You don't have a motorcycle. We don't even want to look at you. And that's pretty much always been the way it's always been. But just imagine if you met a young person that really wanted to be down. You could take them underneath your arm and train them and get them up to speed. There is no Black Sabbath in Chicago. Someone asked. We're not there. You could get that person up to speed and you could teach them the right way to go and not have to scrape them up off the ground. I can tell you this. How many brothers I buried in my club over the last 22, 23, 24 years. More people than I can count on two hands I buried over the last 2 decades. We know the ones. I can almost name them. The brothers who jumped on their motorcycles drunk. The brothers who jumped on their motorcycles sleepy. Brothers who jumped on their motorcycles in bad weather. Racing. Screwing around. Mad. Suicidal. All those things. And the brothers who didn't know how to ride. Shout out to the Black Sabbath, someone said. Let's see, I missed some stuff. East New York in the house. Salute to Australia. First bike CB500. Called it a Honda Davidson. Customize it. First bike was a 250cc Yamaha. Yeah, you guys that come from those days where you found out how to wreck because you wrecked enough times on bikes that wouldn't kill you. You wreck at 160 miles an hour, well, you don't get back up in a lot of cases. I remember that we ever took with no bike, the only member we ever took with no bike was a patched in member from another club that was paralyzed. We patched over that club in the chapter, and he came with it. That was an honorable thing to do. Be safe. I'm out. Been real. 1%er pagans. It's nice of you to join us. I guess you're gone, but we definitely appreciate having you. But, I mean, if you want to know, the strict and straightforward answer is no. You don't get to join a club without a motorcycle. You don't even get to prospect without a motorcycle. That's how traditional MCs operate. For me, that's how I feel. I feel like you should come to the table with the appropriate equipment. But I always thought that was an interesting conversation. It was tantalizing. If a person came to you and said, I've got all my money in my pocket to go buy a motorcycle, I don't know how to ride. I want to join your motorcycle club. What would I do? Would I say, okay, well, let's teach you how to ride? You know, how would you handle that? How would you wrap your arms around that person? I thought it was an interesting discussion and an interesting thought process. Now, this idea about we need to have numbers. We just need to be so big. Every club that I've ever seen do that, every club, and I've seen them, they go to 300 or 400 people. One club I saw had this thing called an open call. And I said, well, what's an open call? I never heard of that before. Oh, all you got to do is just come join. We're taking an open enrollment, they call it. All you got to do is just come join. And we're coming, we're new in the town, we're building our numbers. And I thought to myself, that's like having unprotected sex with a woman of the evening. Like, are you serious? That's somebody you don't even know. You're just taking all kinds of chances for no reason at all, and most of the time it just proves out to be worthless. You know, you're disappointed because you married a woman that you met last night, this morning, and 2 weeks later she's cheating with your best friend. Like, really, we do those kinds of things. Somebody said, looks like an obstacle course. It is an obstacle course. I just had a flashback. Yeah, this is an obstacle course, and you know, out here, these folks believe in extreme prepperism in case the zombies come, or the government, and they're going to be ready, baby. Let's see. My first bike was a GS90, no class. They just teach you in the parking lot. Then a Yamaha 175 Enduro. I had that Yamaha 125 Enduro. Then the Harley Davidson 883. I used to ride, someone says, I used to ride my Hayabusa at 160 miles an hour on the parkway with the Rough Riders. I don't miss those days at all. I'm on a Harley now. Well, those Rough Riders for many years wouldn't even buy a damn Harley. I remember when they first got started, if you had a Harley, I don't even think you could join. You'd see them cats flying by on one tire with a foot hanging off the back, and they're stretched out in the air. And you were like, holy moly. Somebody said from yesterday's Canada-South America ride discussion, Montreal to Visa, Panama is as far south as you can ride. About 5,000 miles depending on the route you take. Yeah, one of my guys looked it up and said there was something called the Darien Gap that was, I guess, a swamp, maybe, that stops you from being able to ride. But I'm going to ride that 5,000 miles. My question is it safe in terms of, you know, the locals and, you know, highwaymen and stuff like that? When you're riding in Africa, if you're not in a convoy, you can really get into some trouble with the highwaymen. Somebody says, I want a gold wing, I'm done with the crotch rockets. Well, when you get a gold wing, you're on a crotch rocket. It's just a big ass crotch rocket with nice bags. Gold wings are something else. I love them. Are you guys into club style dynas? Is that my question? Boy, my bro's got some crazy bikes. You can see it in our videos. They've got everything. What would be a good sports bike for a tall guy, 6'5"? Hayabusa would fit you well. To me, the ZX is a little short, but I love the Hayabusa being a tall guy. I'm 6'4". Low and slow. Says you're out of luck. Well, let's see. We should look into the OG Miklo. We should look into that OG Miklo. Oh, I guess you guys are having another discussion. What's with all the hate on the rockets? Are there people hating on the rockets? If so, I didn't see it. I love rockets. The founder of the Black Sabbath Nation, the father still rides one. 69 years old, 69 or 70 years old. He's never been on anything but a rocket. So, he still loves them. Oh boy. So, what are my ideas on joining a motorcycle club without a motorcycle? Well, I've always been a strict traditionalist, and I believe that you need to have all the tools of the trade to do anything you want to do. I think that people come in without motorcycles. You can't be pissed off at them when they don't ride or when they never get one. I can oh geez, okay, you got us in the, all right. I'm gonna fall, man. Okay. He likes to do his glacier thing. Just preference, like me. I like me a bagger or a cruiser. So I think you should have all the tools. I think you should, come on, man. I think you should own a motorcycle, a license, should have a job. People that you let in the club that don't have those things, a lot of times you'll be surprised. I do remember this guy coming into one of the chapters when I was really young, and he promised them he was going to buy a motorcycle, and he wound up never getting one. They had to fist fight that guy to get their colors back. I'll never forget that. I'm doing Goodwill's Liberty, and one day you should have a discussion on martial arts. What discussion should I have on martial arts? Oh my goodness. So, anyway, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. I feel it's important to keep the goals of the MC apparent. And we join an MC, not a car club, not a Rotary club, not a fishing club, not a let's go to the next watering hole and get drunk club, but a motorcycle club. And if that's the case, I think everybody should have their bike. Our Are threes acceptable? Three-wheelers? So I got a call last night. I just remember that. Guy called me last night and said, Black Dragon, those things that are made by Polaris that are classified as motorcycles, but they're cars. I forget what those things are called. He said, is it okay to wear your cut in those? And I said, let me refer you to my video, Nothing Tops Your Cut. To me, that damn thing's not a motorcycle, it is a car. But a three-wheeler is a motorcycle. You're sitting on top of it, and you're exposed, and your back is up. That's a motorcycle. It's not a two-wheeled motorcycle, it's a three-wheeled motorcycle. I don't like them in the pack. Well, one time I had a gout attack so severe that I couldn't ride a motorcycle. And my brother bought a three-wheeler for his wife, and he bought it for her early just so I could make that run. And I did ride that damn three-wheeler. It's a slingshot. That's what it is. And One Touch Auto Repair says a slingshot is not a bike, but they sure do have it classified as one. And so it was interesting to me. He said to me last night, well, they sure have classified it as a motorcycle. Someone said a slingshot is a midlife crisis. Yeah, it's a poor man's race car. You can get it for like 20 grand and look real cool in it. But the guy told me, he says, well, the slingshot is considered a motorcycle. And I said, let me tell you something. If somebody put wings on a watermelon and told you it was a spaceship, would it then be a spaceship? So, you know, you can feed anything to anybody. You know, we're gonna call this car a motorcycle. And it's like the king who wore no clothes. Everybody knew that guy was naked, yet he was walking around with no clothes on. So, don't let people give you that fake news and hit you with a slingshot of BS. Let's see. Can-Ams are also three-wheelers. Vespa. Did somebody say Vespa? Hard to classify as a bike to get it. Had to classify it as a bike to get it through the crash test ratings. Oh, I imagine they did. Because that ain't surviving not one crash, just like a motorcycle ain't. So anyway, that's my spiel today on what I think about that. And like I say, some of my subjects really could be 3 minutes long. Can you join a motorcycle club without a motorcycle? But we see it all the time. Why do we see it all the time? Why is it happening? Is it happening because people are just so bent on getting numbers? Not everybody that does that wants like numbers. Some people are thinking about, well, maybe we want to give somebody a break, or maybe we want to trust them. Maybe they're going to get a motorcycle. There's all these rationalizations that go into it. I give you this as a piece of advice. What do your bylaws say? What do your bylaws say are the requirements to join the motorcycle club? As with everything, if you follow your bylaws to the letter, you will find that the MC operates much more like a big happy family. I love these discussions. You're a very inspiring person. Thank you so much. I wish I was inspiring to everyone. I'll have about 300 people cuss me out on this very video. Evil said some people will blow smoke up your butt and swear you're on a campfire. And I mean, we just see it in everything that we do. The rationalizations, where people tell you you're on a motorcycle, but you're driving in a car. And other people, oh my God, Polaris said it's a motorcycle. I should be able to wear my cut in it. Oh, that's what Polaris said, is it? And so you sit down and press the gas pedal and turn the steering wheel. Does it have gears? And shift the stick shift? You're in a motorcycle. You're in a motorcycle. Are you? You're riding in a motorcycle? 2013 Moto Guzzi V7 Special and a 2015 Vespa Sprint. You guys must be talking. These discussions are definitely needed, Black Dragon. Thanks. Shaolin Rider. Do you practice like the Shaolin arts? So, you gotta think about it sometimes, people. Whoa! This dog will... This dog will definitely pull you. A little 18-pound runt will snatch you off a curb. Looks like he's like tested out. Oh, we're coming on a curve. Let me make the big guy fall all over himself. Then he turns back and looks at you. Oh, you didn't see that? So, anyway. What if a hang around is on a Vespa? Can get a 750 and up as a... So, something I've heard, and I don't know, in some countries, like you're limited to the cc of bike you can get until you get to be a certain driver license level. So, you're actually stuck on a 50 or something like that. We haven't, but I don't even know how to address that. In our motorcycle club, there is a CC limitation. And if you don't meet that CC limitation, you don't get to join the MC. We did try it once. This poor old guy had a 400. It was a bike made in Hong Kong. And he was a little guy, one of our brothers. And the pack, he just couldn't roll with, it was just terrible. It was absolutely horrible. And we had to get him the right size bike. And I remember that finally one of the members put together a motorcycle, and we let him buy it on payments. So I guess what that old boy said was right, huh? If your brothers love you enough, they're gonna take care of you and make sure that you ride. I'm just now remembering that. Right before the white dude, what? Right before the white dude raced Tyrese, didn't that dude in the wheelchair come out doing donuts in a slingshot? Yeah, so that was the movie Biker Boys, and that slingshot had the Black Sabbath patch on it, if you'll remember. And that president was a member of the Black Sabbath. His name was Kadeem Hardison. And he was a Black Sabbath president that had been hurt, was in a wheelchair. And the guy that picked him up and put him in the wheelchair, and then he pushed me away, that was me, wearing this exact hat, which is now almost 20-some years old. So yeah, he was in a slingshot doing wheelies. All right, not wheelies, but spin outs. People all want to do the bare minimum to get in the club, and they get mad when you call them out, when they don't put back into the work to maintain the club's life. Oh, definitely. Anyway, that's my time. Had to get out early today. I got a lot of work to do today.